Hi, everyone. My name is Zachary Mahoney. This presentation will provide an overview of Dr. Peter Gerhardt and his professional contributions to the field of ABA. So we will start with a picture of him and just an overview of who he is. He is a BCBA and he has his doctorate in education. He has over 30 years of experience supporting adolescents and adults with autism through the principles of applied behavioral analysis. He currently serves as the executive director of the EPIC School in New Jersey. The school provides wraparound services for individuals with ASD. He has also authored and co-authored many scholarly articles and book chapters related to supporting individuals with ASD. So now we'll take a look at accomplishments and his main focuses. He currently serves as the chair of the Scientific Council for the Organization for Autism Research, as well as sitting on many ABA advisory boards. Most of his work focuses on the support of adolescents and adults with autism. So we will go on to look at literary contributions. So this is what I used to develop the presentation as well as the rough draft of the paper. I started with the school's webpage, the EPIC School, where he serves as the executive director. The webpage has a lot of information about the school itself, criteria for admission, its mission statement, philosophies, and services. It definitely correlates with all of his literary work in terms of philosophies and ideas surrounding supporting individuals with ASD. Next, I looked at a video by the Daily BA. It's called People Don't Need Fixing, and we see Dr. Gerhardt speak about his failures and how he was able to combat them through a skills-based approach rather than a corrective approach when working with individuals with ASD. Majority of his peer-reviewed articles focus on best practices for supporting individuals with autism as they transition from adolescence to adults. He focuses on teaching individuals with ASD applied skills that will promote independence as adults. Next, we will look at interview questions. So if I was able to interview Dr. Gerhardt, I would ask him the 5 following questions. I would start with, what led you to working with individuals with ASD, specifically adolescents and adults? Number 2, would you adjust your career path at all if you had the opportunity to go back in time? And is there anything that you would have done differently? Number 3, I would ask him what keeps him motivated after more than 30 years in the field. Does he ever experience burnout or compassion fatigue? And if so, how does he manage that? Number 4, have you ever had cases where behavioral intervention didn't seem to be the answer, where psychiatry or another discipline played a bigger role in the solution to the individual's improvement? And then number 5, I found your interview with Ryan O'Donnell with the Daily BA from the Failure series to be highly insightful and inspirational. I gained significant perspective from watching it. In reference to this, how do you stay outside of your head and focus on the skills model as opposed to a more corrective model when dealing with significantly challenging behaviors? And there is a link to that video above. I would highly recommend you watch it if you have not. So we'll move on to why it's important to the field of ABA. It's important due to the emphasis on the idea that practitioners should focus on teaching skills that result in independence for individuals with ASD. His work really sheds light on the lack of services, resources, and funding available as individuals with ASD transition into adulthood. In a few of his literary works, he refers to this as the service cliff. And this is essentially where children with ASD are kind of surrounded by tons of services. There's a lot of funding, a lot of support. And then as they move into adolescence and then into adulthood, a lot of those services fall off. So he kind of describes that as the service cliff, where the services essentially fall off a cliff. He also reminds the field that he reminds the field that individuals with disabilities are people who we need to focus on teaching skills that result in independence. He really takes a person-centered approach and often highlights this doesn't look the same for everyone. He is also not shy about critiquing the current status quo if he feels we are not moving in the right direction as a field. We see this demonstrated when he discusses the focus on functional skills rather than applied skills, as well as when education standards don't align with the original mandates or the intention of the original mandates. We'll move on to how this relates to the class material. So it relates to our class material in that it provides us with guidance on how to apply the concepts, interventions, and teaching strategies we are learning in class. For example, he would likely encourage us to use strategies such as shaping, modeling, and reinforcement procedures to teach skills and shape contextually appropriate behavior so that the individuals we work with can experience positive outcomes and the highest level of independence possible. Perhaps most importantly, his work reminds us that the individuals we support with applied behavior analysis are actual people that need skills and not just subjects to be fixed. I've added references down here. And thank you guys for watching.